Hi everybody, it's Cathryn from In the Pink Designs. My project today is a pretty economical one. You can get 4 of these out of each sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. I'm putting in there from Hershey. I got these from Walmart. The Hershey's mini bunnies. Yeah, mini bunnies it says. All right, these were $3.99 for a pack. And there's 30 of them about in the pack. So you can make 30 of these and you can get 4 on a sheet. So that's really pretty economical if you have to make a whole bunch for a church group or school, class, or office. I'm using the Darling Details dies for this flower and these little sprigs here. And also I use the All That dies. Actually, this die right here is for the opening, but you could put whatever opening you want if you don't have these. Okay, I'm using also the Lighter Than Air Designer Series paper, which is really a perfect set of DSP for Easter and spring. All right, so we need 1 piece of Lemon Lolly that is 7 1/4 by 2 3/4. Some basic white for stamping. We need 3 pieces of the Lighter Than Air that are 2 1/2 by 3 1/4. And 1 piece that is 1/2 by 2 1/2. Okay, let me get my Simply Score. And we're going to only score on the 7 1/4 inch side. Okay, you want to score at 1/2, 3 1/2, 4 1/4, and that's it. Okay. Now just fold and burnish all your score lines. Okay, now we have to put our 2 of our DSP pieces on before we cut our little window. And I didn't put any window sheet in there because the little guy is just cute, just poking out on its own. All right, so these are both 2 1/2 by 2 3/4. This piece up here is 1/2 inch. We're going to be putting it on the one that is not touching the 1/2 inch. And we're going to put it on the front and the back of the same piece. Then we're going to put our die about 1/2 inch down from the score line here. Let me double check it. Yes, 1/2 inch. The top of the die is going to go 1/2 inch from this score line. Okay, and then just make sure that it's centered. And then put some tape. I'll cut this and I'll be right back. Okay, and there is our window. Okay, now we're going to put our 3rd piece of DSP and 4th. One's going to go in here, and then this is the outside, and this 1/2 inch by 2 1/2 is going to go right on the spine. You don't have to put one on the inside, but I think it looks nice. Okay, now we're going to let that dry a little bit and we're going to do our stamping. Okay, so we need our basic white, and we're going to be using from Darling Details the outline of the flower, the inside of the flower, and the sprig. If you have the sprig die, you can probably just punch off 2 and be done. All right, so I'm going to be using Bubble Bath and Lost Lagoon, and I also need a little bit of scrap. So I'm going to stamp first the flower outline, and then I'm going to stamp in the same ink. I'm going to stamp off once and then put it on the flower there. Okay, and then we need to stamp in Lost Lagoon, and we're going to stamp it twice. So once and then stamped off ones. I'm going to use this die and this die and cut them out, and I'll be right back. Okay, so here's our die cuts, and this is our treat holder, and I'm just going to put a little line at the top and a little line at the bottom, and then I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to get my Stampin' Seal Plus, and I'm going to put some glue. Whoops, I went a little sideways, but that's all right. Right between those lines, and then I'm going to erase them if I can. It's all right, they'll be covered if I can't. Now I'm going to get one of the bunnies, and I'm just going to put it right over and just double check, and that's a little high. So put it a little bit farther down. Perfect. Okay, so we have our bunny, and then they can just pull it off, and the wrapper will probably come off. Okay, now we need a hole punch. I'm using a 1/8, but you could use a 1/4 inch if you want. But you're not going to get through the whole thing. Well, if you have a crocodile, you will. But I'm just going to make a mark twice. And then I will cut out the holes through the whole thing. And then 2. Okay, and now all our lines, our holes are in there. And I'm going to get some sheer ribbon from the sheer ribbon combo pack. This is Lemon Lolly. And I'm just going to load it through all the holes. Okay, and then I'm just going to tie a bow. Okay, now I'm going to take the flower and I'm going to put some mini dimensionals in 3 of the petals. All right, and then put a little bit of liquid glue on the bottom. And I'm just going to go just over the edge of the oval and hold it a few minutes, seconds actually. Okay, and then I'm going to put the stamped off leaves underneath, and then the full strength stamped on top. Okay, now for the final touch, I'm going to use some rainbow dots in Lemon Lolly. I'll put 1 in the middle of the flower and 1 on each one of the sprigs. And that's it. All right, I hope you like this. If you have any questions, my email is below, along with all of the links to my blog, for the directions, my shop to buy anything, to join, and also to my Facebook page. Alrighty, please subscribe and hit the like button, and have a great weekend. I will see you next week. Bye.